Welcome to the OnlyFans Secrets Marketing Podcast. The goal of this podcast is to help both new and established OnlyFans creators learn the basics of online branding, marketing, and promotion to help you make more money with your content and maximize your time online. My name is Richard Lewis, and I have over 20 years of internet marketing experience. So let's get started with today's topic. And that topic is how to avoid OnlyFans scams, part 3, social media scams. All right, so in our final episode in our series on OnlyFans scams, we'll go over scams that creators can encounter when using or trying to increase their following on different social media platforms. This episode, we are going to break the discussion down by social media platform and then review at the end warning signs for overall social media scams. So we'll go ahead and start with TikTok. So TikTok obviously is one of the most popular social media platforms and probably the fastest growing social media platform at the moment. So it has a lot of new attention from scammers. One of those scams is the impersonation scam. So someone will create an account as if they are you or a celebrity. And there's not a lot of ways to stop this. Obviously, much like all social media platforms, they have the blue check mark or the check mark that shows that someone is official. But for most OnlyFans creators, they are not going to be famous enough, so to speak, to get such a check mark, or just for most people overall that are creating on the platform. So people will create accounts either in your name or in a famous celebrity's name, and then try to manipulate people via that way. So obviously, if you're getting a message from someone who you think is a celebrity or another creator and it's not really them, that's a problem. And they obviously can then use that trust that you have for that creator or that person who's on the platform to try to manipulate you or to try to scam you in some way. So that's definitely something to look out for. And then the next one would be the free followers and likes scam. This is where you are told you will get this, and then you'll get free followers that, and then they will want you to download some sort of dubious app. So what happens is that they will contact you, with an ad, then you click on that to get those free followers and likes. And what they're really trying to do is they're trying to make money off of you, by having you download an app. People make money from this. You get a certain amount of money for each download. So, usually through affiliate programs, similar to the OnlyFans affiliate program, where people might earn a commission, but in that way they earn, an amount of money per download. So they will tell people, and the majority of people who are, falling for this are usually, unfortunately, minors who are not very savvy, but are still using TikTok. But it's still something to know, because obviously for, creators, they want more followers, they want more likes. Obviously the algorithm, benefits those posts that get more likes. So there's, that incentive there when you see something like, free followers and likes, to click on it, to engage with it, but it's just best not to. And then, much like a lot of social media platforms, TikTok is now filled with bots. So a bot is basically an automated program, piece of code that will do the same thing over and over again, or do whatever it's told. That can be, in your DMs, or that can be an action like liking a whole bunch of different things. So, TikTok now has bots, and they will DM you messages. So most of the time that's pretty easy to tell that you're getting it from a bot, that it's not a real actual account. but really it depends on how they set the bot up, what kind of message that it's sending, as to whether or not you're going to, take that message seriously. So just be aware that TikTok is now starting to get some of the same attention that other social media platforms have, as far as, bots and scamming messages. And then there's also the verified badge scam. As I mentioned before, a lot of people want verification. They want the, blue check mark. They want the check mark on there. And so people will target you, with a message that if you do XYZ, they will get you verification on TikTok. This is just an attempt to steal your information, personal information from you. I mean, there's many different things that they could do here, but, there really is no system in place by TikTok, or you have to do anything to get this verification, and it certainly isn't going to come from some random company. So you definitely, if you were famous enough to want verification, you can go through TikTok's standard verification process, and they will contact you themselves. You don't need to do anything else or believe any message that you might see on TikTok or advertising elsewhere. And that's usually what happens is that a lot of these scams will come from you being on another site. So you might be looking at a Facebook ad or a Twitter ad or something that got through, their gatekeeping and seemed, I guess, legit to whoever looked at that. But now you're seeing those ads and, on those other platforms about TikTok. So just be careful, when looking at ads on, other platforms about TikTok. Okay, so second, Twitter scams. And now, the community on Twitter is very large, so that brings with it a lot more issues. So Twitter also has impersonation scams. I will say that Twitter has almost no policing of these sort of things. And honestly, anyone can create an account, repurposing everything you post, which is kind of scary. But there's really not a lot that can be done there. So, if you're, a cute woman in red 1 and someone else creates cute woman in red 2 and they put everything out there, you might not even necessarily know it's happening. And for a lot of people, that's an issue, because you can be contacted by an impersonation, a person who's not really who you think that you're talking to. And as I said, if your contact, obviously if Twitter is alerted to this, that's phishing, that's bad, they will take action. But, most of the time it's, people doing it just, quickly and then going on and moving on to the next thing. So, they could be utilizing it for any number of reasons. And by the time you stop them, they'll just go hop on to another email address and create another, account similarly. So be careful on when, speaking to people, that you're talking to the real person. Try to, look at something logical like the start date. So if you're talking to someone and you know that they've been on Twitter for a while and you get a message or DM and you see that the start date is, March 2021, or less than a month old, then you're like, wait, this can't be them. And again, within the community also, people get their accounts taken down for a number of reasons. So, new accounts aren't so strange to see. So, people might claim that they are, a new version of the same person because they got taken down by Twitter. Always verify that as well. Make sure that their old account doesn't still exist. Again, impersonation scams are a big thing for Twitter because it's pretty easy to create an account on Twitter and it's pretty easy to change the name on Twitter. I will say, for instance, on TikTok, I believe you can only change your name once every 30 days. So it makes it a little harder for people to be hopping around as far as what their names are. For Twitter, it's a lot easier. You can change your name and then change your name again. And so very difficult to spot that. So just be very careful when it comes to who you're speaking to, on Twitter. And then you have, fake followers and reskinned accounts. So, one big problem is reskinned accounts. Someone can, take an account that they've had for a long time, reskin it, and it will look legit overnight, as either another creator or a promotion or any number of things. It will seem like it's been there on Twitter for, ever doing the same thing, but really it has not. So what you want to do there is you want to check, the tweet history. Now people can just delete all their tweets, which is, makes it very difficult to see. But if you're seeing something like, a 2012 start date, but you know that OnlyFans has only existed for a certain amount of time, you would know maybe there was something a little fishy about the account that you're looking at. That doesn't mean that people can't repurpose accounts that they were utilizing for something else and move along to OnlyFans or promotion or whatever they're doing. But just be careful that the account has not been reskinned. And then you also have verification scams on Twitter. It has the same issue as TikTok. They want you to do something so that you can become verified on Twitter. Just be aware that Twitter, is not going to be contacting you in that regard. This is definitely like an advertising ploy. They're trying to get you to do something. So again, with a verification scam on Twitter. And then just one other part of Twitter is that what I just call lying scams. There is little to no policing of fake claims that accounts can make towards OnlyFans creators. I see this all the time. Promising retweets, tweet my pinned post, I'll tweet yours. They don't ever do it. It's pretty obvious to see. You can, one that is pretty famous for this is, at OnlyFans Gains, which, you can go on every single day and see they don't retweet anyone, but they're constantly posting that they're going to retweet, so people will tweet their pinned post, which is a promotion for a camming site, and they won't get their retweet back. It's very frustrating because you can't really let people know about it, because then you hit the Streisand effect, which is, making something more famous by bringing it up. But you have people doing that constantly. I saw an account that was a promotion site that said that they would give, if someone would win $1,000 if they just follow all three of the people that they follow. And you're like, okay, well, I know exactly what's going to go on here. They're going to get the people to follow those other three accounts and never give anyone $1,000. Again, there is zero accountability on Twitter for lying. Someone can put in their title that they have 100,000 followers, and you open it up and they have one follower. Again, there's nothing that stops people from doing this. So just be very cautious when utilizing Twitter, because, most of the time, it's possible that someone could just be lying about everything that they're saying or doing, and there's very little accountability for that. Okay, next would be Instagram. Now, I just call this the home of the foreign promotion scam. We had a whole episode where I bought a promotion through Instagram to see what would happen. Definitely didn't go as planned. And as I alerted everyone in a podcast afterwards, we did get our money back from PayPal. Thank you, PayPal. But I kind of knew that PayPal would cover that. But as I mentioned, a lot of creators might buy a promotion and then be too embarrassed to try to get the money back. So with Instagram, it's just that DMs are a wild west. I mean, it's the Wild West on there. And it just seems you get basically the equivalent of email type spam on Instagram, where it just doesn't seem